I'm Cordelia Kate, and today we're going to be building a brain bank, which is a system that captures your actual thinking so that AI is going to polish your words instead of just making them up from scratch. And let me tell you, this system that I have developed for you is going to sort your "what the hell am I going to post today" content issue for the next year. This strategy is killer, and it's going to enable you to use AI to create content that is full of your opinions, that is so you, that really is just repeating the kind of thing that you would actually say without you needing to say it. So I'm going to walk you through that today. And by the end of this video, you're going to have your first deposit in the bank and also a repeatable process for every piece of content going forwards. The problem with AI content is not AI. The problem is that most people ask AI to think for them instead of feeding it their own brain first. And so what we're going to do is create something today that enables you to do that in a really lazy way. And it's just going to be, it's going to enable you to really tap into AI to create this stuff for you, but it's going to do that via your own brain. So be honest, you can spot some, obviously not all, AI content really easily, right? And even in personal stories where someone is sharing this heartwarming or this heartbreaking, a highly emotional story of something they've experienced, and it's filled with M dashes and it's filled with all this stuff. And often, not only is it the fact that the structure of the sentences makes it seem so AI, but also the actual content of what is in the post is just generic slop. Like there's not really any opinion. It's kind of playing it a bit safe. And it's quite honestly something that anybody could have written. So that's what we are going to solve today in this episode. I'm going to show you how to build a brain that is going to absolutely change the game for you. And do you know what? We're going to do this in Notebook LM. Let me know in the comments if you are using Notebook LM, if this is new to you, or if Notebook LM is something you're using all the time and you know about it really well. We're going to be using this because Notebook LM is really, really cool. We can do a lot with it, and we're going to build a brain. So the first thing we're going to do to build this brain is we need to know what to put in it. Not all your anxieties and all your stresses and all the things you worry about. We're going to keep that out of it. This is going to be a brain that is essentially a bank of your opinions, and your take on things is going to be full of your business related opinions. So we are going to fill it with you speaking about certain topics. Now, if you're somebody who has got a YouTube channel, or you've done a course before, or you've got recordings of you talking, delivering speeches, anything of you talking about anything business related, then that's great. We're going to use that as well. If you don't have anything like that, do not worry, my friend. We're going to start from scratch. I've got a really awesome process for you to follow, and you are going to build yourself a brain bank over the next year that is going to serve you for years to come. You're going to keep adding to it, and it's going to be your AI brain that just enables you to build so much really high quality content. Another thing that you can put in your brain is like Fathom transcripts or transcripts of Otter AI, of you on calls, maybe with your clients, of you talking to your team members or in a group program of some kind or a membership. Those kind of transcripts are really helpful as well. But again, if you don't have any of those, don't worry. Here's essentially what we're going to do. So I have built a Yap Pack for you. The Yap Pack is essentially 260 questions that you can answer. And they're all things that are going to involve you giving an opinionated answer, because they're things like, what do you hate about your industry right now? Tell me one thing that's got your back up in the last week. If you could sit your ideal client down and just have a good heart-to-heart with them, what would you say? Stuff like that. You can get the Yap Pack, by the way. I will drop you the link to it below. The reason why there are 260 questions in it is you've got one for every weekday of the year. And so step one is that you just pick a question. Step two is you're going to get voice memos up on your phone or the Android equivalent and hit record. Any transcribing tool and hit record. It could be that you just open up ChatGPT and press the transcriber thingy there. Anything that's just going to transcribe your voice so you can yap into your phone. It's a very American term, yap. I said this to one of my clients the other day. We're getting yap. She said, excuse me, I do not yap. I was like, okay, sorry. Didn't realize this was a bit offensive, this term. So sorry if anyone finds yapping offensive. But you're going to yap into your phone and just answer that question. So we could build it into the daily routine. Maybe you're on the commute. Maybe you go to the gym every day. Is there somewhere that you can fit in a 2-minute yap into your phone? Absolutely, there is. And you know what? When you do this every day, you're going to have all of these voice memos that are your opinion, you talking about things that you care about, that you want to change, that you want to have an impact on. And all of these questions that you answer are then going to start to form a really fantastic vault of the you-iest stuff there is out there, because it's your opinions. And that is what is missing in a lot of this AI flipping slop content that we're seeing everywhere. We're missing opinions. We're missing that stuff that makes us thought leaders in our space. And we're just outsourcing that to AI. Write me a post on LinkedIn that gives you the 5 common reasons why people are struggling with X. What's going to come out? An generic AI post, even if it was written by Claude, which is so significantly better than ChatGPT, but it doesn't have your opinion. So by recording your opinions and building up this bank, your daily routine of just yapping into your phone for 2 minutes and just sharing your thoughts on this, what we're going to do is we're going to then give that to AI. And we're going to get AI to just organize those thoughts and sort them out for us, because they will be waffly, especially if I'm doing this. It will be waffly as hell, but we're going to get those all organized and turned into something that is fantastic content, because it had a highly human input is the thing that is missing from most AI generated posts out there. And you know what? If you start doing this, you are going to really separate yourself from your competition. Do you know why? Because most of your competition are using wet ChatGPT generated posts that are a little bit wet and a little bit boring and a little bit soulless, because they're not doing the highly human input, because that bit takes effort. The easiest thing to do is say, give me some content ideas. Now write those content ideas. Great, I have content ready to post. But the problem is anyone can do that. What anyone can't do is share your opinion, your stance. And that's what your audience want. They want to know what your take on that subject is. What's your opinion? What would you say about this? Because really, we want to ask people with experience about what they know, not AI about what AI thinks. Because even though we're all having conversations with Claude at the moment and any ChatGPT models, there's nothing like speaking to a human that has walked the walk, talked the talk, been there, done it, knows what it's like, has made mistakes, has recovered from those mistakes and can guide you. And that's what we want. We want experts we can rely on who have been there. So we're going to capture all of that and we're going to put it in a brain bank. And then we're going to use that to create content. Let's get into it. So first things first, we need a phone to record some voice memos. And then that voice memo can be put into Notebook LM. So I'm going to share my screen. We've got Notebook LM, which looks like this. Notebook LM is essentially a really cool tool that you might use for revising or learning something new. Because what you do is you build a bank of sources, and then you can talk with an AI about those sources. And I don't mean ketchup and mayonnaise. I mean PDFs, files, videos, you name it. And then you can generate different things off the back of that. So you can generate an audio overview, you can generate slides, you can generate a video explainer. It's really, really awesome. I've got so many use cases for this. But for today, what we're going to do is build a brain bank all about what is up here. We're going to get it out and we're going to share it. Here we go. So this is the Yap Pack. And like I say, you've got 260 questions in here. So one of them, for instance, unpopular opinion. What do most business owners get completely wrong? What's the biggest mistake you see people making in your industry right now? Tell me about something that went completely wrong in your business and what it taught you. If you could sit your ideal client down for 5 minutes and be brutally honest, what would you say? I love this one. So you can just share what's top of mind for you right now. It doesn't have to be perfect, to be accurately right. It has to be opinion. It has to be what you're feeling right now. It has to be how you feel about this topic. And so you've got like all of these spread out into different weeks. We'll share the link to the Yap Pack for you below, just to give you some inspiration on all of like different questions you can answer to capture your opinions into the Yapper. So you're going to open up a voice memo and you're just going to record yourself talking. Or the other thing that you can do, what do your best clients or customers all have in common? That's a great question. I'm going to grab that one to use as an example. And then I'm going to come into, I want ChatGPT. Because the reason why I want ChatGPT is because it's got this dictate button here. Now, you've also got, if you're on Mac, you can press the control button twice and it will start dictating. But my recommendation is that you do this on the go. You don't have this as a sit down at the computer job. You do this on the go in a kind of no extra time used way. So maybe you're on the school run, on your way to the gym, and on a daily walk. Find an area of time in your day where you could do this and it wouldn't be difficult for you to adopt as a new habit. And so what I would do then is just hit record and I would just start recording my answer to this question. Now, I'm not going to do that because that's going to bore the life out of you. But what we're going to have at the end of this is a transcript of me talking. Guess what? I have millions of those already. And if you're like me and you have millions of transcripts of you already, you don't need to do this. You've already done the hard work. What we can do is go back to Notebook LM and you are just going to add those sources. And the great thing is you can just add YouTube links into here and it will scrape the transcripts from YouTube. So I can go to my YouTube channel, grab the link of it. So if I go to YouTube, go to Cordelia Kate and click on my latest video, and we're going to paste it there. And you'll see what that's doing now is it is transcribing that video. It's already flipping done it. And it's here as a source inside Notebook LM. Obviously, now there's only one source in here. That's going to be quite a biased Notebook LM in terms of the brain. It's not very multidimensional. It's me talking about one topic. If we go on add sources, you can upload files and you can just add an audio file from your computer, from Google Drive, or you can just paste the transcript in here as copied text. And so when you start to add these sources, what's going to happen is you're going to get more and more and more varied content from you in terms of the stuff that you've shared. So it starts to create a more multidimensional picture of the things that you care about, of the things that you're opinionated about, of all that kind of stuff. So right now we've got one source and that is biased. But let me just come back to here. And if I click on Cordelia Kate, we've got 42 sources in here. Let me go right. Give me 5 LinkedIn post ideas. But that's not the best prompt. What it's going to do is dig through and think, what has Cordelia said that could be good in a LinkedIn post? It's okay. We could get a lot more specific than that. And we could ask it to give Cordelia's take on a certain topic. So if I said, for instance, let's say there's a trending topic right now, which is the fact that there is an AI backlash happening right now. I don't know if you are aware of it. What would Cordelia say about the AI backlash? People rebelling against reading AI generated content. Now, this is really cool because it's giving us a kind of rich overview of what my take would be on that subject. And that is going to be a highly human input that we can put into AI and ask it to come up with posts and write those posts like us. Now, I do have another video. I will link you into it in the description. It's to walking you through how to create a voice prompt so that you can actually get AI to write in your voice as well, which is kind of another stage that you can add in later. Well, step 1, let's get some actual human opinion that's come from you, some opinionated stuff that we can put into AI. So look, we've got the beginnings of something here. Cordelia would completely validate and agree with the backlash against AI generated content, as her entire business philosophy revolves around the idea that true purpose of marketing is simply building relationships and putting the human back into business. This is what I have spoken about before. It's citing sources of me actually talking on specific videos. Yeah. And what that's doing is it's referencing what I would say. Now, can you imagine how powerful this is? If you build a brain bank that is full of your opinions, that's full of your stance on different topics, and you can then actually run your AI content through this brain so that the output that you get is based on what you actually believe in, what you care about. Because here's the thing, guys, like realistically, this is more time now than ever to step into the idea of thought leadership. Thought leadership is where you don't just show up and share your knowledge. You don't just show up and share your information so that ideal clients can find you and go, oh yeah, that's great information. And they can build a relationship with you through the fact that you are knowledgeable. Now is the time for thought leadership, guys, where you share your opinions on that information. You start actually leading people and sharing with them how to think, how to guide them in a world where knowledge is worth nothing these days. We've experiences, opinion is actually having gone through something and be able to give your real human experience off the back of that. That is worth so much. And it is going to be easy for people who have no experience whatsoever to come and build a business based on a niche that they don't even know about. I mean, imagine I could build a blog site tomorrow on how to start Himalayan goat herding. I haven't got a flipping clue, but AI would write it for me. I'm sure I could set that blog up and it would go wild. But here's the thing is that if it's not got my real human experience in it, it's not going to be really high quality. It's going to be able to be copied by absolutely anyone. Now, let me show you some really cool things that you can do with Notebook LM, because once you started building this brain, you can get it to come up with content ideas. And then you can take this and you can go to Claude, go to this and be like, write this Facebook post for me. And, the other way of doing this would be write a post about this for me without my take on the subject. If you paste that into AI, Claude or ChatGPT, and you say, write this post for me, it's going to come up with a generic way of explaining that. It may consult its memory and remember sort of what you talk about on this subject, but it doesn't have all your transcripts in it. It's got all the prep for helping you create the promotions for the live events that you've done or the previous stuff you've created. It doesn't have the end result, which is you actually talking about this subject. So for instance, I did this session live and I would have used AI to help me create the promotional materials for it, prepare for it, etc. But what I don't have is the end result saved into the memory here in Claude, which is the actual hour-long transcript. It's not in here. So it doesn't have that nuance of what I would actually say on this topic based on what I actually said on this topic. It just doesn't have that. It's got what it thinks I probably would say on this topic, which isn't the same thing. So you're going to get a much higher quality output if you put this thing here and you say, here's my take on it. So it understands that. So that's now going to write me a Facebook post that has my opinion in this post. And it's much easier to have the opinion in the first place than get the post and then try and edit your opinion into it afterwards. It's the difference between baking a cake that has got sugar in it or baking a cake and then trying to add sugar to it later. It's just not going to work. It's not going to be the same cake, So think out loud style, punch in directs. Give me two options here. Let's see. AI should support human connection, not replace it. Let me be clear about something. I am not anti-AI. I use ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini a lot. They save me hours every single week. But here's where I draw the line. I use AI to support my human connection, not replace it. That means, and do you know what? I'm quite passionate about this subject right now because I'm seeing people do the opposite of this. I am seeing people replace themselves with AI, that they are outsourcing their content, their brain, and all of it to AI without having the highly human input there. And what that means is that you're basically taking your personality and you're running it through a personality removing machine. And then the output is the same as anybody else could create. And so there isn't anything that makes you stand out from the competition, from your competitors. And I don't even like the term competition. It's not my favorite thing because I think there is no competition when you're building a brand that is based on your own personality. And the reason being is there's only one of you. No one else can really do that as well as you can. I think there is somebody for everybody. And I think that we can support each other and people are going to work with you based on the fact that they like you and they trust you, not based on the fact that you do what you do. But when we are putting everything through the personality removing machine and we're stripping out our uniqueness from our content, from our business, from the way we're repping ourselves online, what that does is it removes that thing that makes you unique. And it just puts you up as fair game alongside all the other competition. And you become like I was when I was running an Amazon business, selling products. And the only thing that differentiated me from every other seller was the price. There was no branding. There was nothing that separated my product with someone else selling exactly the same product. It was just price. That was all. You really have something here. And it is something that nobody else has. And that is the way you do things, your experience, your opinions, and these things make your business and the way you do business unique. And you really want to harness that and put that on the front of everything. Do not start on doing all of that work by running everything through AI without the highly human input. This is the way we solve it, is we build that brain bank. So that's just one idea in terms of creating posts. But obviously you can do blogs. You can come up with new ideas for content in terms of new videos you can record, new products you can create, new courses you can sell. There are endless ideas of how you can use the brain bank once you've built it. But the most important thing is that any idea that you have, you want to go to the brain bank and say, give me Cordelia's take on this subject. Well, you won't say Cordelia's. So let's go back and let's come up with something random and be like, give me Cordelia's take on how to find clients when you have a really small audience. It's the kind of thing that I might write a post on. And so it's the give me Cordelia's take that's really cool and that's you're going to use all the time. When you're coming up with new ideas for anything, you can just come and get the take on this. So here's one use case in which I use this. I have a blog. It's on my website, cordeliakate.com. And every video on my YouTube channel that I deliver, like this one right now, it's transcribed. And that transcription, I don't use Notebook anymore. I actually use an agent inside make.com, but I used to use this. And it goes inside that agent brain. And then when I'm creating blog posts, the blog post ideas are generated from the video. And then every single idea is run through the brain. So it's like there'll be spin-off ideas for blogs. Let's say that how to find clients when you have a really small audience is a video that I recorded. There might be a spin-off, which is something along the lines of how to grow your audience on Facebook, or how to the best way to send DMs to potential clients without feeling salesy. They're kind of related. They're like spin-off ideas. Now, because they're spin-off ideas, my core philosophy on the subject can be linked back. And actually, when you then get that spin-off idea and you say, give me Cordelia's take on this subject, it might say, Cordelia hasn't actually spoken about this, but what I imagine she would say based on everything she said is this. And when it's done that and I've read it, I'm like, yeah, that's right. That's what I would say. So here is like how to find clients when you have a really small audience, exhaust your existing network. This is all stuff that it's taken from things that I've said. As you can see, it's cited in so many places. It's got loads and loads of citations from where I've been talking on that subject. And so like this can become one piece of content, 5 pieces of content. There's obviously so much that you can do with it. And you can say like, what are my core philosophies? It's got so much information on everything that I've said. It'll be able to pull those out and give them to me. So back to the Yap Pack. On the Yap Pack, you're literally going to step 1, go for a walk, make yourself a cup of tea, open up this Yap Pack, and then hit record, talk for a couple of minutes. And every single time you do this, you then want to save it to that Notebook LM. Now you can get Notebook LM on your phone and you can just upload voice memos directly into it from your phone. And then every single time you do that, you're going to be building that brain bank. And then on top of that, if you want to post your transcripts that you've already got, then you're just going to be building out this really awesome and mega brain of all of your opinions, all of your knowledge, and all of the things that really make you you. And that is going to be just such a hugely valuable resource for many, many things in your business. So there we have it. And look, you've just watched this whole walkthrough to make this so easy to implement. Every single week, I create an implementation guide step by step to walk you through absolutely everything. And it's going to give you all the resources, prompts, and everything you need, plus just the step-by-step process for you to walk through and start building your brain bank. And I'm also I've got the Yap Pack ready to go, 260 questions there. And I'm also a resource that gives you loads of content ideas and ways in which you can use Notebook to populate your social media with content ideas as well. And I have set up a free trial on that link as well, so that you can jump in and then get access to this resource, but also all of the other resources. You've got access to the whole library. They're all on the store for like $9 each, and you can get all of them inside the library in the school community. So you can grab those, and if you want to stay on and get access to as a weekly release, a new one every single week, it's $4 a month. That's like $1 a week to get access to a strategy and the step-by-step process that goes with it, which is insane. It's absolutely madness. So yeah, that is all inside the Strategy Lab. Well, have fun building your brain bank. I hope this was helpful, and looking forward to seeing you on another video soon. Let me know in the comments if you've got any questions, any use cases, any thoughts. I would love to hear from you. Otherwise, I've been Cordelia Kate. This has been the Marketing Strategy Show, and we have a new episode coming out weekly. So subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss the new ones as they come out. Lots of love, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day.